Hey everyone, and welcome to Love Hackers. I'm Alex Carter, your daily dose of dating advice.
And I'm Sophie Tanaka.
And today we are going deep on a topic that I think we've all pondered at some point. Those subtle signs that she's interested. And I mean, really interested. It's like you're trying to crack a code sometimes.
It's true. Deciphering those subtle cues can be tricky, especially since societal norms often lead women to be a little less direct about expressing sexual interest.
Right.
But that's why we're here to help you guys understand those less obvious signs.
Exactly. So let's kick things off with something that frankly threw me for a loop when I first heard about it. You ready for this? A woman opening up about her sex life. Even the not-so-great parts can actually be a sign of interest. I know it sounds counterintuitive, right?
It does, doesn't it? But there's a fascinating psychological reason behind it. Think about it. Women are generally socialized to be more cautious when discussing sex, especially with men they aren't interested in. It's about vulnerability and trust. When a woman shares intimate details with you, even if they're about negative experiences, it suggests she feels a certain level of comfort and connection.
So it's not that she's complaining, it's more like she's testing the waters, seeing if you're someone she can be open with.
Precisely. It's a subtle way of gauging your reaction, seeing if you're judgmental or if you offer a safe space for her to express herself. And, there's a playful way to think about this too. She might subconsciously be looking for someone to rescue her from bad sex.
Okay, I like that angle. It's like a secret mission for the attentive listener. But seriously, how should a guy respond in this situation?
The key is to be a good listener. Don't jump in with solutions or try to fix her problems. Just show genuine interest and empathy. Let her know you're someone she can confide in without feeling judged.
Got it. Supportive, not a knight in shining armor. Now let's move from real-life conversations to the digital realm. Social media. Is that just a minefield of mixed signals, or can we actually glean some genuine interest from it?
Social media can definitely be a subtle flirting ground. Think about it, likes and comments are a low-risk way for a woman to show interest and see how you respond. It's like dipping a toe in the water before diving in.
So it's not just about the number of likes, but the kind of interactions.
Exactly. Pay attention to the quality, not just the quantity. Is she consistently liking your posts, leaving thoughtful comments, or maybe even asking questions that could spark a conversation? Those are all good signs she's genuinely trying to connect with you.
Okay, so a well-placed emoji or a witty comment could be more telling than 100 mindless likes. That makes sense. Now let's talk about something a little more direct: sexting. It's become so prevalent, especially among younger generations. Is it a reliable indicator of interest, or can it be misleading?
Sexting can definitely be a more uninhibited space for expressing desire. It allows for a level of openness and exploration that might feel riskier in face-to-face interactions. But the key here is context.
So how can you tell if it's genuine interest or just casual fun?
Look for consistency and escalation. Does she initiate sexting, or is she always responding to your lead? Does the content gradually become more intimate over time, or does it stay superficial? These are clues that can help you understand her true intentions.
All right, so pay attention to the pattern, not just the individual messages. Now, I'm curious about something. We've talked about verbal and digital communication, but what about the power of touch? Can seemingly accidental touches actually be intentional signals of attraction?
Absolutely. Physical touch is a powerful way to communicate attraction, even if it's disguised as accidental. Think about it: a light brush of the arm, a lingering touch on the shoulder. These can be subtle ways for a woman to test the waters and see how you react.
So if she's finding excuses to get physically close to brush against you, even in seemingly innocent ways?
It's worth paying attention to. Don't just stand there like a statue. Respond to her touch in a natural, comfortable way. And this is important. Pay close attention to how she reacts to your touch. Does she lean in, or does she pull away? Her response will tell you a lot about her comfort level and interest.
It's like a delicate dance, reading those subtle cues and responding in a way that keeps things moving forward.
Okay, let's talk about something that often gets guys confused: appearance efforts. We all know women put effort into looking good, but how can you tell if it's specifically aimed at attracting you?
That's where those extra efforts come in. Is she dressing in a way that seems designed to catch your eye, maybe a little more revealing than usual? Has she spent extra time on her hair and makeup before meeting you? These are signs she wants to make a good impression, and you're the target audience.
So it's not just about looking good in general, it's about looking good for you. Exactly. And it goes beyond the obvious things like clothing and makeup. Pay attention to those little preening behaviors. Things like touching up her lipstick, adjusting her clothes, playing with her hair. These can be subconscious ways to draw your attention to certain parts of her body and signal her interest.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture. It's like she's saying, hey, look at me, without actually saying the words. This is fascinating stuff. Now let's dive into something I find really intriguing, body language. What are some of those subtle cues that can reveal a woman's true feelings, even if she's not saying them out loud?
Body language is a goldmine of information if you know what to look for. For example, lip licking or biting can be a sign of nervousness or attraction. It's a way of drawing attention to her mouth, a very sensual part of the body.
And what about self-touching? I've heard that can be a big giveaway.
Absolutely. When a woman touches herself, especially in a way that accentuates her curves, it's often a subconscious way of signaling her desire. It's like she's saying, I want you to touch me here without actually saying the words.
Wow, okay. These cues are subtle but powerful. I'm starting to understand how much can be communicated without actually speaking.
And you know what's fascinating? Many of these body language cues are rooted in evolutionary psychology. They're primal, instinctual ways of attracting a mate.
So it's not just about social conditioning. There's a deeper biological component at play here. This is blowing my mind.
It's amazing, isn't it? And that's why it's so important to pay attention to these nonverbal signals. They can give you a much deeper understanding of what a woman is really feeling, even if she's not explicitly saying it.
All right, let's switch gears a bit and talk about something that often gets misinterpreted as purely platonic cuddling. Some guys might think it's just friendly, but is there more to it?
This is a crucial one because cuddling plays a big role in female arousal. It's a way for women to build emotional and physical intimacy before sex. So guys, if she's asking you to cuddle, don't assume it's just about friendship.
So she's not just looking for a warm body on the couch.
Not necessarily. Think about it. Women typically only cuddle with men they're romantically or sexually interested in. It's a way of building closeness and trust. And remember, physical touch releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which can strengthen her feelings of attraction.
Okay, I'm starting to see cuddling in a whole new light. Now for the ultimate sign of trust and comfort, invitations to her place. If she's inviting you into her personal space, it's a pretty good indicator that she's interested in something more than just hanging out, right?
Absolutely. Inviting a man to her place shows a high level of comfort and trust. It's a sign that she feels safe and secure with you. But guys, a word of caution here, don't assume an invitation automatically leads to sex. Be respectful of her boundaries and let things unfold naturally.
I think it's important to emphasize that every woman is different and context matters. Just because she invites you over doesn't mean she's ready to jump into bed. Speaking of misinterpretations, let's talk about laughter. We all love to make a woman laugh, but how can you tell if her laughter is genuine or if it's a sign of attraction?
Great question. Sometimes excessive laughter might signal attraction rather than genuine hilarity. It's a way of flirting, of showing that she enjoys your company. Pay attention to whether your jokes are actually funny or if she's laughing more than the humor warrants.
You mean like when you tell a corny joke and she's still cracking up?
Exactly. It could be a sign that she's just smitten with you. Laughter is a powerful way to build rapport and signal interest, even if subconsciously.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here, from the surprising link between her sharing details about her sex life and her interest in you, to decoding body language and understanding the nuances of laughter.
But there's one more crucial sign we need to discuss, a sign that often gets overlooked. We'll dive into that and wrap up our deep dive in part 3, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Love Hackers. We've been uncovering those subtle signs she's interested, and there's one more that often slips under the radar.
Okay, you've got me hooked. What's this mysterious sign?
Have you ever noticed how some women seem to just light up when they're around a guy they're attracted to? It's like they turn up the volume on everything, their laughter, their compliments. Even their overall energy seems amplified.
So we're not just talking about being polite or friendly. It's more like an exaggerated response to everything you say and do.
Exactly. It's like she's trying to create a halo effect around you, highlighting all your best qualities, even exaggerating them a bit to make you seem even more appealing.
So I crack a silly joke, and she's practically rolling on the floor laughing.
That's a classic example. It's not that you've suddenly become a comedic genius, it's that her attraction is amplifying her response. She wants you to feel good, to feel confident, and to know that she's utterly captivated by you.
I'm starting to see how this subtle sign could easily be missed. It's not about her saying I'm interested directly. It's about her actions and reactions speaking volumes.
Precisely. And this goes beyond just laughter. It could be excessive compliments, agreeing with everything you say even if she secretly disagrees, or just generally showering you with positive attention.
So if she's acting like your biggest fan, even if you haven't done anything particularly impressive.
It might be a sign that her feelings are running deeper than just friendship. She's subconsciously trying to draw you in to make you feel special and to encourage you to reciprocate her interest.
This is so insightful.
Yeah,
It's like she's creating a positive feedback loop. The more she shows her interest, the more confident and charming you become, and the more attracted she feels.
exactly. And this brings us to a really important point. Being aware of these subtle signs isn't about manipulating anyone or playing games. It's about understanding the unspoken language of attraction, recognizing those genuine sparks of interest, and responding in a way that builds a real connection.
That's such a crucial point. It's not about tricks or techniques. It's about tuning into those authentic moments of connection and letting them guide you.
Precisely. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that can be a bit of a minefield, deciphering those subtle signs when you're already in a relationship. Sometimes the spark can fade over time, or you might start to question whether your partner is still as attracted to you as they once were.
Yeah, that's a tough one. How
Ah.
could you tell if those subtle signs of interest are still there or if things have changed?
It's all about paying attention to the little things. Does she still make an effort to look good for you, even if you've been together for years? Does she initiate physical touch, or is it always you making the first move?
So it's not just about grand gestures. It's about those everyday expressions of affection and desire.
Exactly. And it's also about how she responds to your advances. Does she seem enthusiastic and engaged, or is she distant and withdrawn? These subtle cues can tell you a lot about the state of your relationship and whether the spark is still alive.
This is so helpful. It's easy to get complacent in long-term relationships and miss those subtle shifts in dynamics. But by paying attention to these signs, you can stay attuned to your partner's feelings and address any issues before they become major problems.
Absolutely. Communication is key in any relationship, but especially when it comes to matters of attraction and intimacy. Don't be afraid to have open and honest conversations about your needs and desires.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about deciphering those subtle signs of interest in both new and established relationships, and we've emphasized the importance of paying attention to the little things, both verbal and nonverbal.
But before we wrap up this deep dive, there's one more crucial point we need to address. It's something that can make or break your chances of turning that initial spark of interest into a lasting connection.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. What's this game changer?
We'll dive into that in the final part of our deep dive, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Love Hackers. We've been exploring those subtle signs she's interested, and we've arrived at a crucial element that can make or break your chances of turning that initial spark into something more.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's this secret ingredient for relationship success?
It's all about reciprocity. It's great to be able to recognize those subtle signs she's sending, but the real magic happens when you respond in kind, when you show her that you're interested too.
So it's not just about reading her signals, it's about sending your own.
Exactly. Think of it as a delicate dance. She
Yeah.
takes a step towards you, you take a step towards her, she shows interest, you show interest back. This back and forth creates a dynamic that builds attraction and keeps the momentum going.
So how can a guy effectively show reciprocity?
It starts with being present and engaged. Put down your phone, make eye contact, and really listen to what she's saying. Show genuine interest in her thoughts, feelings, and experiences.
So basic good communication skills are actually super attractive. Who knew?
They really are. And it goes beyond just listening. Mirror her body language, subtly touch her arm or shoulder during conversation, and offer compliments that are specific and genuine.
It's like you're creating a feedback loop of positive energy. She sends a signal, you receive it and send one back, and the connection grows stronger with each interaction.
That's a great way to put it. And don't underestimate the power of vulnerability. Share something personal about yourself. Let her see your authentic self and create a space where she feels comfortable doing the same.
This is so insightful. It's not about playing games or trying to be someone you're not. It's about creating a genuine connection based on mutual interest and respect.
Exactly. And remember, every woman is unique. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to deciphering subtle signs or expressing interest.
So the key is to be observant, to pay attention to those individual cues and nuances, and to respond in a way that feels authentic and genuine to you.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to take a chance. If you're feeling a connection, go for it. The worst that can happen is she's not interested, and that's okay. You've gained valuable experience and learned something about yourself in the process.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of attraction and subtle communication. We've covered everything from deciphering those less obvious signs of interest to the importance of reciprocity and vulnerability.
And remember, dating should be fun. Don't overthink it. Relax, be yourself, and enjoy the journey.
Well said. A huge thank you to everyone for joining us today. I'm Alex Carter.
And I'm Sophie Tanaka.
You've been listening to Love Hackers, your daily dose of dating advice. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this episode with your friends. Until next time, happy dating.